Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Wedaways, Getaways, virtual fams for wedding planners. We are delighted to have you here with us today. We are going to be featuring villa venues this week today and on Thursday. Today we're going to Greece and we're going to be on the gorgeous island of Mykonos. And on Thursday we will be going to Italy, France, and Greece again. So we're very excited to have you today. Pamela and I are the founders of Wedaways, as you probably already know. Pamela leads the travel team, and Wedaways is a dual-sided marketplace. We have wedaways.com, where we feature magnificent venues around the world that cater to the wedding and honeymoon markets, and our Virtuoso-affiliated travel agency is led by Pamela and her team, and we work directly with wedding planners and couples, and we book magnificent venues, room blocks, experiences, transfers, and airfare as well if it's business class or first class. So we are visiting villa venues this week specifically because villas are really the emerging popular option in times of social distancing. We know that you can have magnificent weddings with all the fabulous vendors in a very wonderful private setting. And so Christina is going to be explaining that in just one moment. We are starting on July 2nd for 3 Thursdays, every other Thursday, July 2nd, July 16th, and July 30th, a new series called The Wedaways Advantage, Travel and the Business of Weddings. We will be covering room block demystification and venue sourcing and shortlisting venue options for our wedding planners, and all about styled shoots and our fam trips that will be starting up again in 2021. So we really hope you tune in for those amazingly informative and inspiring educational webinars starting July 2nd. We will be sending out all of the information about those webinars this Friday, and our wonderful friend, industry insider, Kristen Seaholm, who many of you know and love, will be moderating these wonderful webinars for us, the series, Wedaways Advantage, Travel, and the Business of Weddings. So with no further ado, I would like to invite Christina Dedes of the Blue Villas in Mykonos to please share with us your gorgeous villas. And anybody who has any questions, shoot your questions through the Q&A box or through the chat box. Pamela will be moderating them. And Christina, take it away. We'd love to see what you've got.
Hi, Renee. Thank you so much for having me. And we're very excited to be working with you on this. And we really hope we can bring something fresh, something new, so everybody can have their options on beautiful Mykonos Island. I will go ahead and start the presentation. Okay.
I always wanted to say, that looks Greek to me, and finally I get to say it.
Oh, sorry, we have to go from the beginning, so sorry. Okay, yes, this is the first slide. So yes, we'll be talking about 3 of our most beautiful villas on Mykonos Island. Just a few things about our company. We manage luxury villas on the island of Mykonos, and we did decide that these villas are too beautiful not to be used for a beautiful event to celebrate. So we decided to offer these villas for as venues as well. So most of the times, the first thing that a guest asks us is, Christina, why should we choose Mykonos as an island? Isn't this a party island? Isn't this somewhere where, you know, younger groups like to go? Our answer is actually no. It is one of up and coming wedding destinations and actually a family friendly destination. Many things, many activities have been added over the years that you can do on the island. The hotels are more family friendly. The villas are more family friendly. So this is a few of the reasons that we always recommend Mykonos. And then a few other things that we think that this beautiful little island can offer as a new hot wedding destination is that most of the villas are built very big. So that means that they can take up more people and host more guests during the event. Most of the islands have smaller properties, but Mykonos features much bigger spaces that you can use and accommodate your guests, and also have the venue. So you don't need separate places to host everyone, but it is an option. Of course, you do have the party vibe. Most people like to have more activities to do, so you can have something for the younger groups to do, like go scuba diving on a yacht cruise, and something for somebody who would be interested in a more older group, like having a culinary experience or going on a let's say guided tour of Mykonos. So you do have many, many things to do. And also the scenery that we have is one of the most beautiful ones on the Greek islands. It's not only Santorini that has a very famous sunset, Mykonos also has a beautiful sunset. So the backdrop for your photos would be more than perfect. So the three of our villas that we featured today, Villa Atalanta, Lotus, and Starlight, these are somewhat scattered around the island. We do have a Starlight that's on the south side of the island, Villa Lotus that's a little bit closer to town. It's a little bit of it's a smaller property. And then we have Villa Atalanta on the north side of the island. And then we can start off with Villa Lotus. Now, this beautiful villa is located very close to Mykonos town. It's about a 10-minute drive away. So on this villa, you can actually fit up to 14 people. It does have 6 bedrooms, and then you can host a small wedding here, up to about 50 people. Now here we have hosted many smaller weddings, small ceremonies. They do like to also have the receptions here because of the views. It's right by the sea, and you do have the backdrop of the sunset falling in the back. So this is one of our top listed villas for weddings because some people, we do show the larger villas, but sometimes when it's a small intimate wedding, they do also want the space to be smaller, but it doesn't mean that they want anything less in quality and in a sense of luxury. So this villa is actually something that provides that. The style, the interior style is very minimal, all white, as someone would expect from a Greek island. And then we also have a few examples here, the photos, and you can see how close to the sea this one is. And we can, let me see really quick, sorry, right here. A small setup here that you can see in the backdrop that we have one of our collaborating vendors that they came over and took charge and took care of everything on the villa on the day. They do come early on the day and start setting up. Maybe they'll have to do it from the day before, but usually they do most of their work during the day of the wedding because the guests want to enjoy their space before as long as possible. So that means that you don't have to clear all of the outdoor furniture from the day before. We do it on the day, so you get to enjoy your villa as much as possible because there is a 3-day minimum stay policy for the seasons from May and for months of May and September, May, June, and September. During the high season, peak season, as we call it, we do not we don't recommend these dates that much because the minimum stay is a week. And also the weather is a little bit harsher, meaning that it does get really, really hot. So we do recommend the dates in May, June, or September. I'll repeat that again a little bit later. Then we have Villa Atalanta. Now, this villa is very, very special and unique on the island. I'm saying it's unique because of its style and because of its decor. Now, you won't find many people nowadays, they design their villas very minimal, very all white, very clean sense. This villa is one of the very few, maybe the only villa on the island that has this boho style with the wood decks and a little bit of a sense of a Caribbean, I want to say, on Mykonos. I would want to say that. So you do have this enormous outdoor space. And with this villa, you don't only have views of the sea, you also have views of Mykonos town during the night. So during the night, you can see beautiful lights, you can see of course, lights from the pool and the lights during the night. But during the day, of course, you can also see the runway and the really back end of the island. You can see planes, you can see the sea. It's a combination of things that's really, really beautiful. And the interior, each room is very much designed. Again, it is minimal, but it does have these little elements that make it very special. So you do offer that luxury because, of course, it is all about the couple, but you do want your guests to feel that they're getting the best from these accommodations. They have made a very long trip to come, and they too deserve to have something very, very beautiful and to enjoy. And you do want people to say that they had a very good time at your wedding and that the villa was amazing. And we help you do that, exactly, because we do have a team on the island that can help you with anything that you need and require to have to plan your event to 100% to be perfect. So we are there for you and help you and the couple have the most perfect day. The Villa Atalanta, as you can see, is bigger. It has 11 bedrooms. It does have, it is within a complex of other villas. And it can fit up to 250 people. That is a very large amount. It's not that big for a Greek wedding, but it is more than enough for our friends abroad. It does have, I didn't mention the event fee in the previous villa. Event fees, they are standard, but they can be negotiable at some point to see, depending on how many people you have ending up having as guests at the wedding. So, and the services that would be included, like daily housekeeping and change of linen, this is common for all of our villas. So this is something that will come along with a villa, as well as on the day of the event, for example, of course, we offer staff that will be there to clean before and after the villa, because before sometimes it's a little windy, so we have to clean out some leaves, we have to make the place spotless. And then after, as you can imagine, because most of the times the guests don't check out the very next day from the villa, they will be staying a few days more. So someone has to clean all that mess up so you can continue to enjoy your stay at the villa. So we do take care of that part as well. We have here a couple of beautiful photos. This one on the right is from a wedding that we had in, I think it was last September. Depending on how many guests you have and how your bride has pictured bride, I mean the couple, but usually it's the bride that has imagined her wedding and the setup, we make our recommendations and we try to help you and accommodate as much as possible. We do know these houses like the back of our hand, and we have chosen these villas not only because they can take up these people, the amount of people, sorry, or the scenery, or the fact that they don't have music restrictions. We have chosen them because the owners are very, very helpful, and they collaborate with us. It's very important to have people that are understanding, that know that this is a special event, and that they will go out of their way to have a perfect event for you. So for example, there might be other villas out there that might seem that are perfect for a venue, but it wouldn't be that easy to work with the specific manager or owner. So we make sure that the collab is perfect and we don't have any issues during these events, these beautiful events. So yeah, you can see here the photo that I mentioned where you can see Mykonos town, and also on the right side you would see the sea. And yes, on the right side of the photo, that's where the sunset drops there. So you have amazing photos. And during May, the sunset, you get colors of purple and blue. And during the summer, it's orange, like reddish and orange colors. That's because of how cold the weather is. That's how the colors change. So you have different backdrops for your events. Now, this is beautiful Villa Starlight. I love this villa because it can actually accommodate a lot of people. It is like Atalanta, but this villa is, this one can fit up to 24 people as well, but it's more compartmentalized. You have more people that can stay and feel more private for their guests. And then it has the biggest space you could find on the island for an event. So it does take 250 people as well. You do have different levels where you can do the rehearsal dinner, for example, the previous night, or during the actual event, you can have people stay in, you can have the reception on one level, and then you can have the ceremony on another level. So it makes you feel like you're changing venues some sort of way. So that makes it very exciting for everyone once they come in and they are greeted by the Villa staff and showing them how to go in. We can arrange for a valet parking for them to come into the villa, because it's a huge estate, as the previous one is, where they can park your car. And then as you walk in, you can see of the picture right above here is one of the main entrances that you walk in, and you see that beautiful view and the sea view, which is amazing. Here you actually have 180 degree view of the sea. This one is in Elia, so you can see Elia Beach, and you can see the entire Aegean from there. It's an amazing setting. Also, at this villa, there is enough equipment for all of our villas, actually, where chefs can cook, or the catering company can set up. So you do have that as a plus for all of the villas. They can, and we always can accommodate any special extra requests that they have for that. This villa also has this particular, how do you say, an extra. It does have a small chapel that you can also use if you like. Usually they don't use it as a chapel per se. Most are not Greek Orthodox that will come to the villa, but they do like to use it as a backdrop for their photos, and it's also right next to the pool. So this makes it very special for them. You get a feel that it was next to a chapel or what have you. So that makes it a little exciting for our guests as well. So this is, I think, for this villa, what I had to say. Yes, I did include a picture of the kitchen. There it is. Okay. So yes, you can see here, all the magic happens in this space at this villa. It's very professionally equipped. It does have a room for the staff in the back, so you don't get to feel that they are interfering with your guests or being anywhere near your guests. They have their own separate space there. So yes, and then we do have a simple setup. Usually for our villas, we have the setup is usually, it is simple, but because of the feel, the scenery, the way the villa is, sometimes you don't need much to make something look grand. So the all white is a very usual theme that a lot of couples use. They do like chandeliers, and they do like, the other theme that they really like is using olive branches, which is very Greek and very, very simple, but it's one of the most elegant decors that you can do. So that is something I think a plus for our villas. You can have the most extravagant one and spend a lot if you want, but you can also make it as simple as you want it, and also make it look very detailed and that you took very much good care of it. So we do have some services again that we include during the guest stay. This is for all of our villas that we assist with. And then we do offer all of our intel and all of our connections for you to be able to organize the perfect wedding. We do understand you're not Greek, you're not from the island, so it's not easy to find people to trust and people that you know will be able to work with you. So we have done this for you. We've done with trial and error to find the best people to work with. So we can help you with all the services and vendors that you need, whether that is a catering service. We do have photographers depending on the style that your guests would like to have, because they're not all the same, as you know. We do have a few, not a few, we do have several connections, but the thing with the being on a small island is that there are not 100 of DJs, for example, to work with. So we have sorted, and we know and work with the top DJs on the island to organize music. And then again, we do have the local connections where if you want something a little bit more traditional that we can take care of. The flower arrangements, of course, we can assist you with that part as well. Even, as I said, the simplest to the most complex that you need. And then we do, of course, and the decor that comes with the flower arrangements. We can do fireworks, we can have belly dancers, we can have people, oh, how do they call them, with the flamethrowers and fire. We can have anything that the couple desires, including most common things like a photo booth, anything that you would do abroad that you would like, and they would like to bring something, a piece from home, something that they do in their country, because each culture has something different. Indians, I know they have a 3-day celebration, for example. So we do know the needs and how special it is for each culture, each couple. So we do try to make everything tailor-made. And yes, that's why we don't have a specific, for example, package deal for everything. We do like to do everything tailor-made for the guests. Now, specifically now for the couples and why do they choose our villas at the end? This is because they do realize that compared to other agents or even planners, because most of the cases, they either don't know the island very well, or they're not familiar with having events in these villas, or they don't know the villas very well. We are a company that has the combination of everything. We know the villas, we do know how it is and difficult it is to organize an event on these premises of the villas. And we do know the island. So this is something that we combine all of these 3 elements, and this is the reason why couples find us so professional, prompt with replies, We also are, all of our villas are inspected. They've been through a quality survey, inspection, everything to make sure that these are up to a standard that our guests would want and expect. Of course, the scenery, as you know, and as I mentioned about having photos or videos taken on this beautiful island, it's something that it's very, very unique. Most of the couples, they do like to leave for an hour or two, not longer, but a couple of hours after the reception. They go and have photos during the sunset at the windmills or other a little bit more rural, like rocky areas, but with a beautiful backdrop. And our photographer and videographer, of course, assist with this. This is something we do for Greek weddings as well. So it's very common to be late after the reception, after the ceremony, to be late at the reception. The overall, of course, a good vibes, and the romance that we do want Mykonos to show, that romantic side of it. It's really not only about the partying and what have you regarding the party part, because I do know everybody says that about Mykonos, but it can be a very romantic destination. Yes, so one of the things that a lot of times guests ask us is, okay, so Christina, we love the villa, we would like to go ahead with this option. For example, the planners that we're working with, and they always ask advice about what should the rest of the guests do, because they want, along with the invitation they send in, they want to place in let's say, activities and things that their guests can do while they are on the island. So we do have and recommend our partners for a yacht cruise, a guided Mykonos tour, a helicopter island tour. All of this, of course, we can work with Renee as well to organize anything that you need. It's really, the whole idea is that we can take care of anything that you would like to think of and manage. So anything else we can take care of. So yeah, this was all I had to say about most of the villas, but I do know that there might be a lot of questions about everything.
Actually, I have a few questions, and
yes, please.
Pamela moderates the questions, but I have a couple of questions.
Yes, please.
The event fees.
Yes.
I saw one of them is between 1,000 and 2,000 euros, or 2,500 euros, 3,500 euros. What happens if the party comes in and the night before there's a rehearsal dinner, the day of there's the wedding and the reception, and then the following day there is a farewell brunch? Is there an event fee for every single event that they are planning?
This is usually discussed, and we negotiate each time with the owner to find the best possible solution, how to have it, because usually they don't have all the same people as the event, the big event. The big event usually has a larger amount of people. The rehearsal dinner, usually they're less. And then brunch, again, different people. So it really depends on how many people will be hosted on the day.
Do you mean different guests, or do you mean different staff?
Guest number, how many there'll be.
Okay. All right. So then, in other words, that's a topic that is covered on an individual basis.
Yes, exactly. It all depends on what exactly they want to do, because if they're doing something very simple and they won't have music and they won't have all of their guests, there might not be 100 people. They might just want to invite 20 very close family. So that is something that we might not even charge. That's not something that will apply, for example.
Okay, I wanted that understanding. The outdoor spaces on the properties, they all have barbecues?
Yes, they do all have barbecues that you can use, yes.
Okay, but you can send in the chef and they can have an outdoor barbecue and
They can have it on their own if they want to do it on their own, of course, but we can arrange for the chef to come and have a beautiful barbecue dinner with Greek meat and anything else that you need. We can even take care of if there is a need for kosher food. That is something very special, but we could arrange for that as well.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of our upcoming blogs will be on kosher venues. One of our most popular blogs that we've ever published, and we have a super popular blog read by about 500,000 readers every blog we publish. But the most popular blog that we ever published was called 11 Greek Wedding Traditions and Customs We Love. And it was translated into 12 languages and read the first time we released it, it was read by over 1.1 million people.
Oh,
and
wow.
I mean, the Greek wedding traditions and the entertainment is just so unique. It's wonderful.
Did they have the breaking of the plates included?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The orange blossom, lassos, and everything. And it's really fantastic.
Okay.
Pamela, did you have questions?
Yeah.
Because okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I have some questions. Can you touch on the music restrictions for each property?
Yes, we do not have music restrictions for these villas. There's not an issue with that.
That's amazing. Wow, we love that. Fantastic.
That's why it's a good thing it's a party island, so somebody's having a party somewhere every time, but I mean, yes, these specific villas, though, they are located in areas, they're not remote, they're not very far from town at all, but they are positioned in a way where they don't disturb their neighbors, and also the physics of it about how the wind blows, and so the noise is not, yeah, I don't want to get technical about it, but there's no problem with that.
Fantastic. Thank you. That's amazing. We've been asked a couple of times by different planners about nearby accommodations and hotels. So I will just quickly touch on the fact that Wedaways, as your travel partner, will source secondary accommodations for overflow guests. And, we can do so in different rate ranges if need be, but we will work with you directly on nearby properties because there are many nearby properties to these beautiful villas, correct, Christina?
Yes, yes. You have anything that your guests would want. You can do hotels, you can do villas, you can do different options for everyone because, of course, if someone is not paying for the entire wedding and your guests have to take care of the cost, then you do want different options for them.
Perfect. Thank you. And are planners allowed to bring their own wedding vendors, photographers, DJs, florists from possibly their home city or others around Europe that are not in your preferred vendor list?
Yes, yes, they can. We did actually have a couple of weddings that really, really wanted to do this. They were people that they trusted, people they had heard the best of, and they did decide to fly them in to for their special day. And we do know how important that is to have the wedding singer that knows by heart all of your favorite playlist. We did have a bride that brought in a band from abroad because it was her favorite band and she really wanted to have them for their day.
Fabulous. Perfect. We love that. And then we were asked about the capacity of the chapel.
Oh, it's very small.
It's small. Okay.
So yeah, no, people would stay outside. It wouldn't be inside. It would be too hot. It wouldn't be just maybe 10 people, not even. It's a very small chapel, but everybody stays outside. When it comes to small chapels in Greece, even for Greek weddings, we stand outside. We don't go in the church.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful photo op for sure.
Yes, yes, they use it a lot. It's beautiful.
Fantastic. And then we were asked about the requirements for a legal marriage in Greece. I'm just going to quickly say that we would always suggest a symbolic wedding to avoid all of the red tape that you will encounter with a legal wedding abroad. To get married in your home county, and then a celebration abroad. But Christina, if you want to touch on the legal requirements.
Yes, so that part is, we're not very proud of that part because unfortunately the procedure is a little bit complicated to say the least and tiresome. It needs a lot of paperwork. And the thing is that if you make a small mistake on your paperwork, for example, they misspell your name while translating the documents because we have to translate these documents, then they might even not allow the not ceremony, but the whole procedure to continue. So we're talking about these little details that can ruin a very special day for you. So it's always better if you do it in your home country and then come to Greece to have this symbolic wedding. Of course, it is an option, but it's not, we don't recommend it.
I just want to interject that another one of our super popular blogs is one called International Marriage License Requirements by Country. And we have about 25 countries listed with all of the marriage license requirements. So you can always look at that yourselves or send your clients a link to that blog, and it's very, very informative. We do our best to keep it up to date, but again, symbolic is usually the way to go. We recommend it. I personally had a destination wedding in Italy, and I definitely did all the paperwork before I left. And we have somebody on our team that had a wedding in Japan. They also did everything symbolically. So internally, we give you the advice that we follow ourselves. So that's probably the best way.
Definitely. And if anyone has any questions about that or logistics, feel free to reach out or ask any questions afterwards. We have another question about flights to Mykonos. How frequent are flights to Mykonos? We know that from Athens are going to be more flights than abroad, but from London was the specific question.
From London, from what I know, because we don't handle airfare, it's very frequent, and from all of your airports in the UK. That's what I know. They're very frequent flights because we have many guests from England. Actually, most of our weddings are from the UK. Our couples are from the UK. Perfect. That we work with.
Fantastic. And I can touch on that just a bit more as well. If you're coming from London, it's really fabulous because most of the flights will land early in the morning. So you can take advantage of the whole day once landing in Mykonos. And many of the wedding couples will do a destination hop, we call it. So they'll spend time in Santorini or even in Athens if they land there from a major US airport. And then it's very, very easy and seamless to get to Mykonos for the rest of the party weekend. So those are the questions I have now. For sure, we will have some additional questions after we conclude. So I will go ahead and send those to you, Christina, if we can't answer those on our own. But I just want to reiterate that these beautiful Greek villas are a fantastic option for a destination wedding, especially in Greece. The best weddings are at private villas in Greece. So these were 3 beautiful villas of many that Christina represents, and we have a wonderful relationship with them. We're happy to send requests and work out the negotiation of fees, etc. So any questions about villas, if you want us to send you a list of these beautiful villas, just let us know if you have clients in mind, and we'd be happy to do so.
In the follow-up that we do today, Rachel is going to be sending the follow-up. We will relist Villa Atalanta, Villa Starlight, and Villa Lotus. And of course, if you come on to our website and you look at Wedaways.com, we can take your screen. You can stop screen sharing, Christina?
Yes, yes.
And just to let you know that if you come to Wedaways.com, you can see Villa Starlight and the images that they have provided to us. And what's so cool about Villa Starlight, I am sharing my screen, right, Pamela? Am I?
I can't see it.
Am I doing a screen share? There we go. Okay. If you, can you see the, yeah, we're doing the screen share. If you come to wedaways.com, you'll see, you can look up all of the villas here very easily, Villa Starlight and the images, and they have the twinkle lights in the pool, which I absolutely love. I think it's just a great touch. And then Villa Atalanta, of course, you come and visit, and you can look at all of the images of Villa Atalanta and Villa Lotus as well. With their beautiful views. I always call the villas in Greece, on Mykonos and Santorini as well, sugar cube houses. They're just so pretty. It's just such a magical, magical place. Greece is a wonderful country as a whole. The people are super warm. And we will be having more webinars coming in the coming weeks. We'll be featuring Crete and Santorini and Halkidiki, which I learned how to pronounce. It is an incredible place in the north. So lots and lots of options moving forward. Christina, we really appreciate you taking the time. Christina's in Athens, so she's up for us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We're delighted to have you. And don't forget, July 2nd, we start our series, The Wedaways Advantage, Travel and the Business of Weddings. It will be a 3-part series, July 2nd, July 16th, and July 30th. We will be sending you all the information on Friday. Today, we'll do a recap of this wonderful webinar. And we're just delighted that you all joined us. We can't wait to see you next time, Thursday, same time, same station. 5 villas in Italy, France, and Greece, and we will see you all then. Christina, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Ciao.